ينفقون. हमने दिया, जो हमने दिया, उससे दो. What we have given you, give it back. Give to other people. The maqsad of this life is not to make more and more and more. I was just gonna, and I'm saying this like out of like honesty and integrity. Wallahi, I was about to cut the live right now because I wanted to share some stories. But then like literally 2 days ago, I got called out somewhere where someone was like, you know, you cut the live at times, and you know there are people that are listening from other places. So now I'm not gonna do that. But literally, I had a conversation with a friend today who made countless money, only to lose all of it. And I thought of this dunya, the reality of this dunya. That one day he was so wealthy that he was the wealthiest person that in his capacity he has what he can never imagine. Next day Allah takes it all away. In Arabic, gold is called what? What is gold called in Arabic? Dhahab. There you go. My Arabic students are paying attention. Unless all the other people said it. They didn't say it. Dhahab. Why is it called dhahab? Yannahu yadhab. In Arabic, dhahaba also means to leave. Because money never remains. As long as you have money on you, it is of no value. You can have $1 billion, it has no value. The only time money has value is when it leaves you. What benefit is a friend that is only loyal or that is only useful when they're not there anymore? What benefit is a friend that the only time they're useful is when they're not around us anymore and when they leave. This is what dunya is. This is what wealth is. They keep you in the system and they keep you enslaved to it. And they give you this promise. Okay, you are making $5,000 a month. From that $5,000, 30% of it is going into your taxes. Now you're left with 60%. From that 60%, 30% goes into your expenses. Now you have 30% to fulfill your desires. But they show you desires far beyond it. And they constantly tell you get into debt. Buy a house far beyond your mean. If a Sahabi wanted to buy a house, they grabbed some wood, they chopped it up, they grabbed some dirt, they built their house with their own hand. It wasn't a concept to get into debt for. It was something that I needed to do, khalas, I did it. Now, okay, everyone wants a very expensive house. How long is the debt? 30 years. That means your entire life you're spending paying off something, the roof over your head. The car you have, it's on payments. What are they doing? They're keeping you busy in the dunya. Why? The more you are busy working for the dunya, the less you are doing your own ibadah. The less you are building your akhirah. Who wins here? Why is the capitalist system that constantly tells you, keep on making money? I swear to Allah and wallahi, if I take an oath, I will not be a hanif. You each, inshallah, will make so much money in your life that if you were to take your entire previous generation, a generation above your parents' generation, meaning you skipped one generation. If you were to take the entire family of that time, in their entire lifetime, they would not make money that you would probably make in your first few years. My grandparents, ask stories from your grandparents. How many times a month did they eat meat? Some of the people who are older over here, growing up, how many times did you have meat in your home in a month? Twice in a month, right?
Yeah, same.
Twice in a month. Twice in a month. For us, it's 2 dishes on the table. Biryani every week. Sometimes multiple times a week. Burger. No, 1 patty's not enough. I want
Double cheeseburger.
Shall I? Yes, double cheeseburger. Very good. MashaAllah. So, yes, we want more and more. It's not enough for us. Nabi alayhi salam only ate once a day. Maximum twice a day. Suhoor and iftar. The Prophet of Allah in 63 years of his life never ate 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Three meals a day? The breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Lunch is the break that work and school gives us. So we have to honor them and respect the break that we have. And then dinner time, my mother made food, but I have to still eat food from outside. But she made food, that's why I'm eating the food from outside. The consumerism, the constant consumerism. And then they sell it to you like you have to have it. Oh my God, I don't know why all these stories are popping in my head right now. This brother comes to me. And he's talking to me, I swear to God, for like 20 minutes. And wallah, sometimes I even try to be nice. Like I say, you know what, today I'm going to break my nafs. And I'm not going to be like I normally do and say something back. And this was one of those days. And Allah really tested me. Really tested me. Brother comes to me. First of all, I'm very picky in the colognes that I wear and all this. He comes to me and he says, you know oud? I said, yes. He said, I can tell you the best place to get oud. And I'm trying to explain to this brother that, look, I've been wearing it my entire life. I'm very particular. No, the Makkah is the best place. I said, shut up. I said, for Allah's sake, I'll listen. I said, yes. He said, Al-Arabiya lil-oud. I said, okay. I said, no, inshallah, I'll get it. He said, listen, look. You have to take my name. I was like, why? He said, I have a diamond discount. And I'm like, what? He said, I have a diamond discount. You're going to get 45% off. Diamond discount. I said, did you say Al-Arabiya lil-oud? He said, yes. And I'm just like, okay. And for 15, 20 minutes, trying to tell me, take my number. Listen, this is how you're going to go talk to this guy, this. He's like, Al-Arabiya. And I'm trying to push him off and tell him, brother, look, I'm not interested. I know their store. I know this. And he's like, no, trust me. He's like, I have very special treatment from them. And you're going to get VIP treatment. Poor brother doesn't know Arabic. But if you go to Al-Arabiya lil-oud, any time of the year, and not just now, for the last 10 years they've been doing this, you're going to find a big sign that says everything is 50% off. Everything all the time, wallahi, is 50% off. That poor guy is so excited he's getting 45% discount. And he's saying he has a diamond discount. And he's telling other people, come buy from this spot. And I'm like, brother, you should take the bronze discount that I have. This is the regular one that's on the wall, that literally in Arabic. This is why if you take my Arabic class, you will not get ripped off when you go for Umrah, inshallah. We're starting January 6th. So 50% off is written there. But that person sees a discount and thinks I'm getting a great deal. That's all you have to tell people. Oh, you're going to get this for 75%, 80%. Sometimes even if you don't need something, you'll buy something. You'll buy it. Because if you don't know and you think something has value to it, whatever value you put from your mind, you'll apply to it. We had that famous situation when one of our, everybody wears, when you're traveling, there's people selling stuff all the time, right? And you're going to have a situation where, like, especially if you're a tourist, for Allah's sake, talk to the people that are around so they guide you in this thing. One of our friends, the guy tells him a thobe was worth $200. That thobe was worth $30. Brother thought it was a deal. He bought it. Again, the person is using the emotions that, no, this place is blessed, this is that, this is a great deal. The moment someone tells you great deal, you're like, oh, it's a great deal. Black Friday, 50% off. Prime, lightning deal. I need to get it quickly. The urgency of it. The constant grind. Why? You're constantly involved in it. What does Rasulullah ﷺ say? Ahabbul bilad ila Allah al-masajid. Wa abghadul bilad ila Allah? Where? The swap. What place does Allah hate the most? The markets, the malls. We go to the malls just to go look around. What is this? This is desire of the dunya constantly. Shaitan's tool. Before you attain the dunya, you must desire the dunya. Before you commit the sin, you must have love for the sin. So they first put the desire and the love in your heart. They marketed it. They want to sell you a car. What do? They show you a half a naked woman. They're erupting the different aspects of your nafs and your shahawat so that you succumb to it. So they fill that desire in your heart. And this person is going to constantly be involved in this. And they'll become ghafil. And Allah says, I hate this constant thing where people are constantly in this business grind. Prime, they're selling it to you. How many times did we buy something and we were so excited to get it? And then after that, what happens? Where's that box lying around? In the corner of the house. Has it happened before? Yeah? If not, there's a box over there in the corner. We bought something we haven't used. Today, for the first time, I used the foamer. Found it from somewhere. This is the nafs. Oh, you guys used it before, but first time I used it. This is the nafs. We just need to buy. And this is how Dajjal wants you to be ghafil, unaware. And the corporate ladder, you just want to keep on ascending. You want to have a side gig, a third gig. The gig has to have a gig to it. And just how can I expand my wealth and expand my money? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لو كان لابن آدم واديا من ذهب لأحب أن يكون له واديان ولن يملأ فاه إلا التراب. That if the son of Adam had $1 billion, he's going to want 2. If he has 2, he's going to want 4. If he has 4, he's going to want 8. I was somewhere recently and a brother comes to me, a young man, and he's really like tired and he's frustrated. I said, what happened? He said, I was doing business. I was selling a car to a guy. I verified his income. He had $300,000 income. He said for hours he was fighting with me to lower the price by $300. When money really takes a grip of you, you become a slave of it. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Khairul ghina ghina nafs." The greatest wealth is the wealth of contentment. You're not greedy for the dunya. That's the greatest wealth, not having greed inside you. I mentioned a poem earlier. Salman Farsi radiallahu anhu on his deathbed, he began to cry. Now who is Salman? He's the one Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you're from me. The Sahaba debated, is he a Muhajir because he migrated from Persia, or is he Ansar because he was in Medina before Nabi alayhi salam came? You see how Allah gives? He was a Christian and a Jew, so Allah made him Muhajir and Ansar when He made him a Muslim. That's how Allah gives. Don't look at your tests and think that Allah is here to take. Allah is here to drag you closer to Him. You know when a child is running towards the fire and the parent is grabbing them, the child's yelling and crying. If the child ends up with the parent, the child is safe. But if the child fights back and pushes away and heads to the fire, only the child will end up suffering. And Allah is pulling us closer. And we're fighting away from Allah and running away. I asked someone the other day, I said, we're talking about Gaza and the children of Gaza. I said, they don't have a home. They don't have food. I saw a video of a father giving his child breakfast by dipping bread in water. I see kids sticking their tongues out to drink water from the heavens. I see people scraping water from tents to drink it. I see a child getting too late at the food ration and turning back with an empty pot, and other little kids seeing him began emptying out just some chickpeas into that bowl. And you and I, Mazan, that fish is there roasted. One of my friends gave me this example in England once. Fish is there roasted, fried, comes in front of you. Ate the fish, the liwi. Now towards the end you look at it. Mazani aya. I didn't enjoy it. What are you going to do if Allah looks at all of your good deeds at the day of judgment and says, Mazani aya. I didn't enjoy your deeds. That fish gave its life for you, man. That food on your table has given its life for it to be on your table. You see, the hand doesn't change. It's the heart. If you have shukr in the heart, you can be eating dal, adas, and it'll taste like biryani. And if you don't have shukr in your heart, you'll eat biryani, and it'll taste like adas. The hand is the same. It's the heart that changes. It's the shukr that changes. Salman Farsi radiallahu ta'ala anhu, on his deathbed began crying. Someone said, Salman, why are you crying? And Salman radiallahu anhu says, I broke a promise. He said, broke a promise? He said, I made a promise to Rasulullah. What was it? He said, Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw abir sabil. Rasulullah said, be in this world like a traveler. He said, and today I have too much money on me. And I'm scared to look at Rasulullah in the eyes. At his death, they counted his net worth. His net worth was $30, 10 dirham. He was scared to face the Prophet. Tu ghani azhartu alam man faqir. Iqbal says, the famous Persian poetry, Allah, you are ghani, I am faqir. On the day of judgment, forgive my sins. And if my sins are not going to be forgiven, then I have one final request from the creation to the creator for you. And that is the final request that I have from the creator to the creation is as panahe Mustafa, as nigahe Mustafa panha bagir. Whatever happens, if I'm destined to go to hell and be held accountable for my sins, just turn the face of Rasulullah ﷺ away so he doesn't see what a disappointment I am. The dunya is it's meant to hold you down. It's meant to make you forget. That is why, if you recite, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika la, lahul mulk wa lahul hamd, yuhyi wa yumeet, wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. If you recite this in the mall, how much reward do you get? How much? 1 million good deeds. If you go to the mall and recite that kalima, 1 million good deeds. Why? Because to remember Allah when others are forgetting Allah, that's how valuable it is. You're looking at the discounts on the walls, the Louis Vuitton and the Burberry you cannot afford, and Allah says, just remember me for 1 second and I'll make you a millionaire. My servant, don't think that you cannot have anything. You are my servant, you are my friend, you are my wali. I'm going to give you so much more. This isn't meant for you. The child that's going and walking and the child says, I want to eat this, I want to eat this. Beta, no, they see food on the floor and that kid wants to reach towards it. You are... Oh my God. Sometimes we ourselves are a little too traditional. We taught our kids at home that if something falls on the floor, you pick it up, you say Bismillah, blow on it, and you eat it. Right? Like at the house. You know, like this is the sunnah. So we were one time at Walmart, and Maher was eating popcorn. And the popcorn falls on the ground. And like his parents didn't notice, Maher grabs it, says Bismillah. And there's a white lady like staring at him the whole time. And Maher eats it, and she was like, disgusting. Just walked. Our kids are just sometimes a little too innocent. Yeah, so what was I saying right before this?
Mall.
The mall, right? So this dunya is meant to give you this FOMO. You look at, you get the shoes you want. Everyone's got that aspiration, right? My birthday, I'm gonna get this. No, what is this? Eid. Eid. On Eid, I'm gonna get this gift. Not everybody's getting Christmas gifts. No one's getting that stuff. Right? On Eid, you're gonna get this, or your graduation, you're gonna get this gift. Once you get that phone, you get that laptop, you get those shoes, you get those clothes, what happens 6 months or a year later? Someone else has it. 2 days ago when I was on the road, I see a Cybertruck. And I was with Sheikh Yasser and he said, Cybertruck. Look at this, wow, it's a Cybertruck. First time we saw it. It just basically looks like a big aluminum dabba. Like just with wheels. It's like as if I told Maher design a car for me and he drew it in kindergarten and gave it back. Maher, if you're watching this, I love your drawings. No hate to you, gorgeous. So now that car is there, everyone is give it a few more years. I remember when Teslas first came out. If a person had a Tesla, they were wealthy. Wow, they have a Tesla. Today now, if they have a Tesla, oh, you're an IT. You must be Desi. You must be, yeah, mashallah. You know, it's okay. But one time, this was a status symbol. The car you buy, brand new car, I was looking at this research. The cars that depreciate the most, the Porsche, Maserati, the 7 Series. Take it out of the dealership. The moment it enters your hand, the value drops. Allah's showing you, man, the dunya you crave for, within seconds it loses its value. And you think this dunya is going to increase your value. You think I'm going to sit in a Mercedes, people are going to look at me and say, Asa wasa double pesa. Oh, he's such a big guy. Mashallah. You're going to see them, oh wow, he has a Rolex, still late. No, this doesn't change anything. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, multi-billionaires, didn't save marriages, didn't keep kids at home, mansions. Their children don't live with them. Do they really have the dunya? Do they really have a home? What value is that home that takes your family away? Back in the day, leaving your family, your people, your community was unheard of. Today, what is every child's wish? Independence. Independence. I want to live with my. Now, the mother and father's du'as are gone. The tarbiyahs are gone. The akhlaq. All of those ni'mas that money cannot buy are replaced by them telling you you're free. You are free is the greatest lie you've been told in your life. You are Abdullah. You are the slave of Allah. You are Amat Allah. You are the slave of Allah. The greatest lie you've been told is you are free. Inna Allah ashtara min al-mu'mineen. Allah has purchased you. The Khaliq has created you. You're not free. You are a Muslim. You are submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are submissive to the Creator. And this money, this wealth that you have, the reality of it, you're going to see what happens. The economic system cannot last. Countries are in debts. What are we, 30 trillion, 32 trillion now? 32 trillion? 32 trillion in debt. Do you know when the last time someone stepped into okay. Historically, money was measured with gold and silver, right? Gold and silver, okay? Then paper currency started coming to be the representation of gold, the gold standard. Then after that, they took away the gold standard. Do you know when they say America has 70% of the world's gold. Do you know when the last time someone entered Fort Knox and saw America's golden reserve? Does anyone know? How often do you think they check our gold reserve? Fort Knox, they got thousands of people guarding it. That's where America's gold reserve is. Anyone? Guess. How often they check it?
Every 10 years.
Every 10 years? Anyone else?
Once a century.
Once a century? That's like a Hajj of a century. Never?
No.
1953 was the last time someone stepped foot in Fort Knox. And that was only because people started believing that the United States did not have gold anymore because they spent it in World War II. So about 5-6 years later, Eisenhower had someone go in and check out and verify Even he doesn't know. The reality is this: the money you have, it's held by nothing. You can wake up one day. This whole BRICS that's happening. Anyone know? Update us on BRICS. What's BRICS? Tugdi? Follow BRICS or no? No? Anyone else here follow BRICS? Russia, India, China, South Africa. Yeah, y'all laugh about South Africa. Y'all be coming up there. All those rants from my madrasa days, I've been saving them up, bro. You guys don't know, no one's heard of BRICS or knows what BRICS is?
Investments?
Huh?
It's like they're trying to replace the US dollar.
So US dollar is the standard now, right? Everything is bought with US dollars, using US dollars. Commodities are sold, gas is sold, things are sold using the US dollar. And that's why America can freeze people's assets. America can say that we are putting sanctions on you because people are using their standard. So you don't have to pull gold out, all they have to do is print money. And that's what happened COVID time. They just printed money and gave it to people. People with that $2,000, they had khaishat of $20,000. They had hopes of 20,000. What happened when they started giving? Economy started even going worse. Items started becoming expensive. The dollar store is a lie. Nothing's for $1 in the dollar store. Whenever I drive past the dollar store, I look at it and I think this is one of the biggest lies. They should at least put $2, put a 2 or a 3 or something on there. Haqiqa. But no. So now, this money, they can just print it. And countries and people do. And debt starts increasing, debt increases. What happens when the debt begins to default, when the country's too much in debt? When nobody follows along with this money, then what happens? What ends up happening with it? So BRICS is basically these other countries, about 70% of the world that doesn't need to, the population that is non-European and American, it's more than 70% of the world. And they're moving away in Middle Eastern countries as well that we need to have an alternative currency. And we don't want to be backed by US dollars. We don't want to continue using this. And in your lifetime, it's gonna happen. As powerful as it was when you were growing up, you no longer will be the very superpower that you once were. And you'll see with your own eyes how this dunya is. You make $1,000 today, every year there's about 3% inflation. 10 years from now, you keep that $1,000, it's already lost about 1/3 of its value. In 30 years, that $1,000 is worth $1. And what is a good deed? I teach you how to pray salah. You pray it today, you teach someone else, 30 years later, now every person who learned salah from you and who learned from them and who learned from them, my akhirah is getting built. That is why Allah is so sensitive with us. That I'm giving you so much, I did everything for you, and still you forget me and you run away from me. Ya ayyuhal insan ma gharraka bi rabbikal kareem. Insan, what are you doing? You running away from me? How much did I give you? How much have I done for you? الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء رك. I made you beautiful. I gave you ability, talent. With this talent you earn dunya. Now you have it, you forget me, you run away from me? So their whole philosophy is what? Keep you connected to this dunya. Consumerism, always wanting to buy and purchase things. The latest shoe, the latest dress. And Islam is all about teaching us, if you don't need it, spend it on someone else. If you don't need it, spend it on someone else. I sent the voice notes that you guys heard, and I think you were the person who did that. We went and visited a refugee camp in Jordan, literally 2 weeks ago. And when we went there, we met a refugee settlement, in Jordan. And we went to a few houses, and we walk into one house, and we walked in. The lady tells us that this man's father today became shaheed in Gaza. So I can say that Allah had put us in a position to condole a heart of someone who became shaheed in Gaza and their family. Immediately, like in the same day, that reward, Allah put it in our scale without us asking Allah for it. So the shabab, they gave whatever sadaqah they had, and we went our way. The other day, a sister comes to me. She says, Assalamu alaikum, begins talking. I have no idea who the sister is. She says, well, I was the one that coordinated your visit. I said, Jazakallah khair, I appreciate it, was a great time. She said, I want to share a story with you. Remember the guy whose father had passed away in Gaza? I said, yeah. He said, he called me and he says he's making dua for you guys every day. I said, Jazakallah khair. He said that day when his father passed away in Gaza, they were so poor, his father made dua and tahajjud, Ya Allah, at least let me make it for the janazah of my father. He said that day, after you guys left, he had the exact amount he needed to get to Gaza. And he made it for the janazah of his father that same day. إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. This is Iman. 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 Not hoarded. There's enjoyment in eating food. Wallahi, there's more enjoyment in feeding people. There's enjoyment in sleeping. Wallahi, there's more enjoyment in letting that sleep go and wake up for tahajjud. There's enjoyment in earning money. Wallahi, there's more enjoyment in spending on others. There's enjoyment in eating food. Wallahi, there's more enjoyment in not eating food and fasting for Allah's sake. Try it one time. Try it one time. You've been sent to this dunya for a maqsad, for a purpose. And Dajjal wants you to forget the purpose until every one of us begin to act and react like Dajjal. Dajjal is Shaitan's mascot. They're all in one. What are you keeping yourself busy with? Look at us, how do we earn Jannah? 8 hours a day we work for the dunya, 8 hours a day we sleep, 16 go into there. Out of the remaining 8 hours, collect all the salawat in a day, is maybe 1 hour, 45 minutes. That's what we give to Allah a day. Just 1 hour a day. If you give Allah 1 hour a day, you're passing. To pass in akhirah is 1 hour a day. And the one who gives 2 hours, 3, now you're becoming a friend of Allah. How easy to become a friend of Allah. It's not that Allah doesn't want to be our friends. We don't want to be Allah's friend. Then can we blame it when Allah doesn't answer our du'as? If we have a friend like how we are with Allah, we'd call them fake. Only calls me when he needs something. He only Allah says, you only turn to me when you need something? And when I give you, then you forget me? This phone, this is a reminder to myself over anyone else. This phone, you would have never been able to afford it. This is the same thing you are delaying your namaz for? This house you are asleep in, comfort bed. You are from India, man. You're supposed to be in the corner of Hyderabad somewhere, or Gujarat or Karachi. You're supposed to be selling pani puris. I changed your destiny and I put you in a comfortable home. And I gave you education. I gave you this. I changed the destiny of your life. And you repay me by forgetting me? So, as you are earning and working, rectify your intention. Why you're doing it. You're in college? Why are you in college? If the answer is to make more money, then that means that you're here to stay longer, and this isn't your land. This dunya isn't your land. I'm not talking about America. This world isn't yours, and it'll never be. And if you think you'll ever possess it, you never will. And the moment you get this dunya, Allah will always take something else that money cannot buy. Allah will take something that money cannot buy. You are meant for the akhirah. Invest in it. Everything you have in life you earn. Make a nasib for the one who is needy. You eat something, think about feeding someone else. You buy some clothes that are new, think about giving. I had a student of mine one time. I don't know if he still acts upon this or not. But like 10 years ago, I made a comment, the 2014 Palestine thing happened, and I made a comment, and after that I saw him like 4 times, and he was wearing the same shirt, and I was like, bro, I feel like you're wearing the same shirt. By the way, I have more white toes than this saying. But he says he's wearing the same shirt like 4 times, and I was like, yo, like, I'm not judging, but a little bit. You're wearing, this is the 4th time I've seen you wear the same shirt, bro. And he goes like, oh, I only have like 6 shirts. I was like, what happened to the rest? He's like, after that talk, I said, that, Ya Allah, I'm not keeping anything extra anymore. I'm not keeping anything extra anymore. Because if it's something that I'm not going to wear in a week, it means I can give it to someone else who may not have food, clothes for the day. This ummah, this world has enough for every man's need, but not for every man's greed. There's enough in this world to say, we can cure it. People say, if God exists, why is there so much poverty around the world? God said, I gave it to you. Why didn't you pass it around? We have it. We're wealthier than our parents ever were at this age. For most of us, than our grandparents ever were, than our great-grandparents ever were. Allah has given us extensively. Don't get caught up into it. If you're in medical field, how many of y'all in the medical field? By show of hands? 2 sisters? And the rest of you, from the guys, how many of you know? Not anymore? No one else? That's crazy. How many of you guys are in IT? How many of you guys are planning to go to IT? Raise it high, raise it high. Raise it high. Oh, are all these Tesla owners? Sisters, what is left? Doctor, IT, what else do they see parents tell their kids now?
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Huh?
Lawyer.
How many of you guys lawyer?
Also engineers.
Engineer? 3, 5. Oh, my building's gonna break, bro.
Business.
If y'all squad becomes engineers, Allah yarham. Heard ICC parking lot is. We'll edit that out, inshallah. Before the night ends. What other professions are left?
Just regular business.
Business? How many of you guys in business? You're like in 4th, 6th, 8th grade. What grade are you in? Wallah? Subhanallah. Y'all just keep on getting shorter and shorter. Listen, man, listen. I really don't have anything to say. I'll concede to you on that. I accidentally made dua to be short.
What?
There was a short kid in school, he was cool, and that's why you gotta make good duas in life. Like, I regret that. Don't make good role models in life. I didn't have a tall friend as a kid. I was a short guy. I said, Allah make me like him. And Allah said, oh, he's this height. I made this from this onwards. It's okay. Allah make me. When I get to Jannah, inshallah, I'm going to be Adam alayhi salam. We'll all be the same height as that. No tall, no short. Inshallah. I'll finally get to see you guys. These kids are so mischievous, man, in California. They put me on a forklift and they hoisted me up all the way to the top and they made me give a khutbah. And Sheikh Yasser was the one doing it. They were like, Mufti, finally can see how we see. May Allah make us laugh in Jannah the same way. Inshallah. It's okay. We should laugh at our collective flaws. Or mine, it's fine. So you change the niyyah. You're in medicine, make niyyah, you're visiting the sick. You'll make the dunya, but also 70,000 angels will give you dua in the evening and in the morning for this niyyah. I had a friend who would walk around his neighborhood with a stethoscope in a bag full of first aid stuff and say, I just walk around the neighborhood just in case someone needs me. If you're a lawyer, use your knowledge for khair. Don't lie in your field. If you're an engineer, do good and do khair with what you have. Build or work in a department that's going to help in an impoverished area. I once walked into a church unannounced to hear and see the Sunday service. And I see doctors get on the stage and say, we're cardiologists and we have this background and that. And we took ventilators and we took machines and we went to Sudan. And thank God we started a hospital there and we've converted hundreds of people to Christianity. Where were those hundreds of people? They were Muslims once upon a time. They were once upon a time Muslim. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كاد الفقر أن يكون كفرا. Poverty can turn a person into a kafir. The stories, the harrowing stories of the refugees. Maulana Yasser will share it in Epic on Saturday. Just 1-2 stories I'll share with you. A parent comes to them and says, refugee parent, and says, I was planning on taking my life away because I could not provide my child education of the deen. And if we cannot live as Muslims in this land, then I was planning on taking the whole family's life away. Real life stories. Another one came to them with the Quran in their hand. Whole family dropped it off and said, you guys will probably end up using this. We're not Muslims anymore. We've become Christians. What are we going to say? We're too busy getting the latest stuff. We're too busy. It's okay to enjoy the dunya. It's okay to be grateful to Allah. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. But leave some space for the miskeen. لِلسَّائِلِ وَالْمَحْرُومِ. The one who asks you and the one who doesn't ask you. Learn to give. Don't keep the dunya in your heart, keep it in your hand. Sponsor an orphan a year. Learn to not keep on looking at your bank account. Understand what barakah is. Spend on the guests. We don't have that culture. See a new face in the masjid, in the community, take them somewhere to eat, somewhere to drink. I've told you stories of South Africa tons of times. You just walk into the masjid and someone sees you and says, let's go for, Marna, you must come to eat, We just met. The man's not even asking at home. One time I gave a khutbah somewhere. After khutbah, I started hearing loud sounds by the shoe area. I got scared. I was like, yo, I might get beat up outside. So Africans get offended real quick too. Go either way. Really nice people. But if they're always carrying. It's a crime-infested country. So everybody's always crying, carrying. I go out and I see people arguing, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? And they said there has been an argument amongst people. What's the argument? They said they're debating who's going to take you for lunch. So finally one guy was like, I'll take you. Get to his house, the table is already spread. And I was like, you didn't even know you were going to win the roulette. And he was like, it doesn't matter. Every Friday the table's set for the guests to come and eat. We were in Mota. What happened in Mota? We literally go into a restaurant, Mota. One day we're in Petra. In Petra, everyone is hustling us. From the little child to the police that is watching that child hustle us. Am I right or wrong? In Mota, what's the opposite happens in Mota? We go into a restaurant. The whole group eats. And mashallah, our people, not that they eat a lot, but like they're dressed well, all this thing. You can tell that they come from Khate Pite Gharana. The little boy, 18 years old, on the minimum wage there at the cashier, on a random restaurant on the side, not on a tourist location, looks at it and says, "You are a guest, this bill is on me. This bill is on me." Then the owner comes, then another person comes, there's an argument and fight that's happening now. Who's gonna take the bill? And I told the students then, I said, this is Mota, this is the land where Ja'far ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu's body is buried in here. Zayd ibn Haritha's body is buried here. This is the land where Abdullah bin Rawaha radiallahu anhu's body is buried here. Sahabas, this land has been irrigated by the blood of Sahaba. This is why the people have the akhlaq of Sahaba here. That land, Petra, is irrigated by the land of the mushrikeen and the land of those whom the adab of Allah came. And that is why they care about the dunya, and their children care about the dunya, and those who are around it care about the dunya, and those who were irrigated or spent by the land of the Sahaba, their hearts are also like the people of the Sahaba. Your environment has an effect on you. Work in the dunya long enough, and that's all you'll crave. If you don't think about coming out of this rat race, independency, financial independence, freedom from this dollar. The Rasul of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ta'isa abdul dinar wa abdul dirham." May the slave of dinar and dirham, gold and silver and dollar and pound be destroyed. You are a slave of Allah. No one must make you bow but Allah. No one must take your overtime but Allah. No one you must stand for but Allah. If you can stand at the register for hours, but struggle to stand for a minute in front of Allah, then you stand for the dunya, and you sit for the khaliq of the dunya. If we can get up 8 a.m. and never miss and be late for work, for $20 an hour, $30 an hour, $10 an hour, and we cannot make it for salah, and that means that this dunya, that the akhirah is not even worth $15 an hour for me. That I have more guarantee in this non-Muslim job or non-Muslim place or a Muslim place that I'm working, that they will give me my money, but my Allah will not give me for coming. That means my tawakkul lacks. My tawakkul lacks. And that is all the Dajjali system is about. Break you from your creator and connect you to the creation. That's all it's about. You need a retirement. You need a 401k, your social security. You need these things. These are necessities. These are not necessities. You don't need a 4-bedroom house. You don't need a massive half-acre home. You don't need the latest car. You need to be the best individual. Whatever, وَهَلْ لَكَ إِلَّا مَا أَكَلْتَ فَأَفْنَيْتَ وَمَا لَبِسْتَ فَأَبْلَيْتَ وَمَا تَصَدَّقْتَ فَأَمْضَيْتَ. Whatever you possess, you eat it, it will come out. That same biryani smells great, pizza, oh. And then, 6 hours later, oh. That's the dunya. 14 hours fast, thirsty, hungry. 15 minutes. When you see the table at iftari time in 60 days, you're going to see it. 75 days? 80 days, I think. When the iftar table comes, you count the samosas. Then you become a mathematician. Maghrib, 4:42 and 37 seconds. If you're in Plano, if you're in McKinney, it's 4:38, of course. And Frisco, because of the longitude, it's going to be 4:39. Everyone knows Maghrib time. Isha, I'm not sure when the Tarawih starts. We pray 8, alhamdulillah. We'll make it sometime in. And then you get to the table and you're counting. There are 7 samosas, 5 people, 2 people will get 2 extra samosas, or 1 person will get 3 samosas. If I eat a samosa, what do they call it, the SPM, samosa per minute, then I can make it, if I eat it by this time, I can get a 2 samosa, and if I eat it 3, yeah, I get this. But there's also pakoras, which are 9 for the 5 people. So there's a higher chance of the pakoras being double and the lower of the samosas. So I'll start on the samosas. I don't think about these things. I don't think about it. But I don't think about this stuff. But I'm saying to you, right, that when you guys, I really don't think about this stuff. How many of y'all think about this? Be honest. Let me seem like I'm the only guy. Malik, may Allah reward you for taking me out of being the only guy. The rest of you, Rehan, Jazakallah khair, brother. I feel like I'm in a fundraiser right now. Anyone else here? Be honest. Raise your hand. Sisters, be honest. Jazakallah khair. Anyone? Zayd? Every now and then. Who else? All you big family people. 3 or plus. Hassan? Definitely, I know. Who is that guy? You too, inshallah? Yeah, if you're like 2 people in a home, then it's just hamdo hamare do. Right? Chota khadan zindagi asan. But if you have 2 plus people, then it's really when the math works. If you have a family of 5 or more, then it's like subhanallah. But what happens? You eat the food in 15 minutes, then you don't even want to see food. That's the dunya. That's the haqiqah of it all. That's the haqiqah of it all. At the end of the day. Change your intentions. Come with better intentions. Why are you becoming whatever you are? To make the world a better place. How am I going to use my profession to serve the dunya? For the children in Palestine. Or anywhere that's oppressed. Honestly, if you want to know the reality in the last century, it's the same Muslim, just different blood. It's the same Muslim, just different blood. Either Kashmir bleeds, or Burma bleeds, or Yemen bleeds, or Syria bleeds, or Iraq bleeds, or Libya bleeds, or Palestine bleeds, or Sudan bleeds, or Somalia bleeds, or Egypt bleeds, or Jordan bleeds, or Iraq bleeds, or Iran bleeds, or Pakistan bleeds, or Afghanistan bleeds, or the Uyghurs bleed, or the Moroccans bleed. Where do we stop? It's the same Muslim, it's different blood. It's the same Muslim, it's a different murderer. If a dog gets injured, human rights stands up. The blood of a Muslim in this dunya is cheaper than that of a dog, is because no activist, no one can change, no one. This lip service, this is the dunya. I'm proud to be an American. This is your pride. Proud of my identity. This is who we are. What hypocrisy do we have, man? What hypocrisy do we have? I stand with Palestine. Yeah. But which one of us can claim that we are not complicit at some degree? You want to boycott Starbucks, boycott. Great. But if we are really telling ourselves that when that child is sitting in his house playing with his games and the bomb falls and the house shudders and he gets blockaded and he's calling his mother and his father and he cannot call anyone else and no one's listening to him, and as he is losing his breath and the wind is escaping his esophagus and he's struggling and the pressure is crushing his little bones, and he's looking up and he's thinking to himself that, Ya Allah, curse and la'na. And Ya Allah, you are hasbunallah. What does it mean? Allah, you are enough. What does that mean? If that doesn't shake you to your bones, does it shake you to your bones? With the last dua and the badua, we are affected by it. I'm not telling you pick up arms. I'm not telling you start an insurrection. They made sure to design the world in a way where they can do what they want. But you know what's going to change the world? You're going to change it. Because growing up, nobody stood up for Palestine. Your generation came, somehow used TikTok, and has changed the conversation. One thing I know for sure, Allah has placed a level of khair in you. And if you don't make this world a better place, then damn right this world is headed to hell. You're the last line of defense, the last line of conscience that exists. If you don't do it, then you are opening the gates and the doors for this world to keep on falling in a pitfall until eventually Allah has no need for this dunya. Inshallah, we'll open it for Q&A. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. It's 5.